Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get going here. So you should have 6 pieces of wire pre-cut. I don't have a specific length, I just do a little short piece. I mean, we're just practicing here today. We're not trying to waste here. So I have those pre-cut. And I have all 6 of my types of flowers ready to go up here, okay? I'm gonna start with the pierce wiring technique. You don't need, when you're practicing, you don't need these to be very long just because we want them to be able to all fit on our piece of paper, okay? And so you don't need a very long stem. And I'm using 24 gauge wire. It's just what we happen to have for our paddle wire. It's a really good medium-sized wire, okay? And I'm gonna take this and if you have a really small stem, I'm actually gonna pierce, like if you have a carnation, you're gonna pierce up into the base of the flower. If you have something with a thicker stem, like a rose, you can pierce through the stem. You're not gonna wanna pierce through the stem of something this small though, okay? So probably most of you have a thinner stem, and so you're gonna go towards the base of this flower, not onto the bottom because you're gonna explode it, and I'm just gonna pierce right through the center of that flower so that it sits on the middle of the wire. I know it's kind of hard to see, it's weird, okay? And then you just bend them straight down. You don't need to wrap around on this. And if you need to get closer, that's fine, you can come check it out.
I don't think I did that right.
Nope, you're gonna wanna go through, on a carnation, you're gonna go through this part of the flower, okay? If we have a rose, we go through the stem. But if you have a carnation, you're gonna do pierce wiring through the flower head.
So like
Yep. You're gonna go above where this calyx and little sepals are, because you don't wanna pop the head off of the stem, okay? If you have a gladiola, you can kind of go somewhere in there too. That's perfect. Okay, so that's the pierce wiring technique. We're not going to tape because I want to see how you're wiring, okay? I'm going to move on to hook wiring next. The first thing you want to do is you're going to create an actual little hook shape, little U shape, okay? So you're going to create a little U shape. And with the hook, you're only hooking one side into the center of the flower. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this. Alstroemeria is a little harder, and I'm gonna go through the middle. Okay, and I'm gonna just pierce it so it goes off out one side. Okay, into the flower stem and push the wire upward. Or no, you're gonna push it through the center, the bloom center. Okay, and then you're gonna try and hide the other side of that wire. You're gonna slip it all the way down, so that it's in between petals. See how I'm kind of doing that? I know it's really hard to kind of see. Okay, and so that, oh, I popped it, that's okay. Alstroemeria is so hard.
You want to keep the wire in the stem?
You could. I like to keep it out and then I'm gonna wire it all the way through. Mine ripped, because Alstroemeria, this is not a great wiring technique for Alstroemeria. Okay, so one's going down the center, one's going off to the side. And through the center of the flower, okay? So come on up and I can show you. Okay, come on up. And of course you would wire all this and tape it. So here, let me just kind of show. So you would do a hook. I know it's hard to see. Do it kind of a pointed hook. And you're gonna go through the middle on that side and hook around, okay? Alstroemeria is a little harder. So you're gonna go through the center on one side, okay? You're gonna push through, just like that. And this other side's gonna go on the side. See? I'll trade you. Yeah. Some of the flowers we have aren't great for it. Yes. Yes. Okay. Pom-pom mums, button mums. Those are all really good hook wiring techniques. Okay. You're not gonna use an orchid for this, but we are today just because we have to practice. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the insertion wiring. Okay. Insertion wiring is great for these little button mums. That's what this is, a little button mum. And you're not gonna bend the wire at all. You're just gonna go up from underneath, right next to the stem, and you're gonna poke from underneath into the flower. And I push it up until it pops out of the top, and then I pull it back down so it's not being seen. So I know it's gone all the way through. And that's insertion, that's it. You're just going up through.
I like that.
Okay. And this just helps support that little stem if you broke it or something. Okay? All right, for wrap around, if you have baby's breath, that's great. Shh. Listen up, everybody. Sometimes you'll have multiple stems of the baby's breath, and that's when you would wrap them around so that they're all clumped together so you can tape them as one piece. I'm gonna use this tall myrtle right here, okay? And I am just going to kind of bend it in half, and I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm gonna wrap it around twice real tightly while supporting the stem. And then I'm gonna bend the legs straight down so they go smooth along the stem. Okay, so this is going to be your wrap around. You only need to wrap it twice. You guys don't need to get crazy, okay? Because you're doing it in the incorrect spot. You're going next to the stem but through the head. You don't want to pierce the actual stem. Okay? You would go through the top, see how I pushed it all the way through? And then pull it back down and you would just tape it right along the stem. You don't go through the stem, right? Okay. So the wrap around is just twice around. And then the legs go straight down. Okay?
Like this?
Alright, the next one that I'm going to do is the hairpin. Okay? Hairpin's next. And then I'll give you guys a chance once I'm done demoing. I'll cruise around and help you if you're struggling with one. So again, you're going to create a hairpin. Does anybody know about hairpins? It's kind of an old school term. It's like a bobby pin, but it's like old school term for a bobby pin. It's a shape. Okay? Is you're going to create a little hairpin again, a little loop. And you could do it with an orchid. You could do it with babies or with leather leaf. I'm using it with a solidago. I'm not piercing any part of this solidago. Okay, I'm not piercing it. I'm just going around the branches in the middle, and then I'm just going to lay it flat against the stem. Okay, and I know this is kind of hard to see, and so I'll have my examples up here you can look at in a second. Okay, you're not actually piercing anything. You're just kind of hairpinning around these little branches around the stem, and then it's going to lay flat, and this is just going to help support that little stem. If we were doing a little posy bouquet or a boutonniere. Okay. And then the very last technique is stitch wiring. It's really only used with big leaves like this to help support the leaf and bend it. It's kind of a cool technique for boutonnieres. Okay, and you're just gonna kind of sew it in a way. So I always put the most of the wire on the back of the leaf because you don't want to see wire, okay? So I'm gonna have the back of the leaf facing me. I'm gonna poke through the front, right next to this inner vein, and then I'm gonna bend it and I'm gonna poke it right back out the back side. And you're gonna try not to rip the vein. You're not gonna rip the leaf. Okay, and that's stitch wiring. The back of the leaf has most of the wire. Okay, so the front just shows a tiny little piece of wiring. What's cool about this is now, after I taped it, I can actually bend the leaf backwards. I can bend it straight up. I can bend it forward. Kind of helps manipulate that leaf when you're doing boutonnieres mostly. Okay? Okay, go ahead. And that is wiring techniques. If you guys want to turn that video off for me.